To me, I don't know about anybody else, but to me, you are calypso, soca, the whole music and the vibes.
Um, a lot of people say things like that, and they just make me work harder. I mean, working to become what they say I am.
You are, believe me. I listen to your music, and I'm not speaking recently alone. From way back, from when I can remember hearing a Shadow record for the first time,
Yeah.
and I virtually fell in love with your style of music. Where does that music, that style come from?
Like some people say to me, Shadow, I meet people and they say, Shadow, I love your music so long, but I never met the Shadow. I say, you always meet Shadow because my music is me, is the inside, not just the flesh you look at, but what is inside, what keeps the flesh moving. Right. So I see my music like me, like when you listen and you check the lyrics and thing, it's like you're looking at me. Poverty is hell. In any form of poverty, it looks like hell. There's no description of hell that they ever give me that I don't see in poverty. A man so hungry, children, suffering so much, no food, in rich societies, when a man belly big, he eat a lot of food. But in the poverty, people belly get bigger and enough food, man. It's just wind and suffocation, sleeping there, hardly could move about. Um, if there's another hell, it couldn't be a more hell than that, a bigger hell than that. It doesn't happen so for me. Like the subject, the inspiration or the subject, the topic just come and something caused the topic to come. Something would cause the topic to come, but not in that form. Um, my stories come by experiences or looking at the world as it is and accepting the true reality. Sometimes I would disguise the thing like a great artist might do some abstract art. So you got to look a little further to see what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I just say playing out. Well, I'm not a competitor. I just be a guest artist, and I may the best man win. Okay, but I see the show and the media coverage and everything could only help to expose the art form more into different neighborhoods, different people would get a taste of this thing. And I just hope when they listen to it, it will be good enough presented to them that you could just get them coming into the fold, right? It depends on the exposure. After the exposure and people could hear this music all over, the marketing, and everything that's around the music that would make it. Because this music is as good as any and better than many. But we need to get it out there into people's homes. Like we could hear certain music just ringing down on you all the time. You have to accept that and say that is the best music because that is what they are saying. But when I'm walking home, I'm also saying this is the best music and I could never get out there to compete with them. That is what I need. My music right out there with all the rest. And then we'll be getting somewhere because I know I would gain a lot of fans and the music would be as big as any music.
I know here in New York that some of the FM stations are playing more. They have a soca hour
Yeah.
or calypso hour.
Well, that's much better than sometimes a back. That mean, you know what that mean to me? The music is going someplace, maybe walking slowly, but getting there. And they say where the horse reach, the donkey gonna reach someday.
I asked a couple of other entertainers this question. Within the New York area, the only time that we seem to see the Calypsonians is around the seasonal time for the calypso music and the whole carnival,
Yeah.
situation. What would it take to have more artists, calypsonian artists, say performing in the New York City area on a regular basis? Not necessarily with a big band. You might have Shadow performing at Vernon's Jerk Chicken, and Shadow is there by himself with a guitar, and he's doing a cabaret, and whoever else.
That is nice, But the people around the area you're talking about know the calypso in every form, So I think this is nice, and this should be done. But for that, to more people who don't understand this thing yet, because it's like once upon a time, somebody tell me some certain people used to be using gold as firestone, You know why they had it and didn't know what it was. And the people who know Calypso deal with it that way. So maybe we take it to the people who would see it as the people who use gold, for other purposes. Yeah.
We are limited, or we were limited, to how much music of calypso nature that we were getting for ourselves, like with the WLIB.
Yeah.
We would only get it on Saturdays and Friday nights.
That was a start. They tried because without them was none. Right? The music is getting better. Well, for the I would say the music is great. I would say some of the writers need to put their minds on better stories, to fit the music, to make it better, Like putting on or get a seamstress to make this beautiful dress for the beautiful lady, Dress up Cinderella. Right. And make her live what she really is. The queen.
You said you're not really into the competition thing, right? When you're saying you're not into the competition, I know you're not in the World's Monarch competition as a competitor,
Yeah.
right? You are a guest, which to me is the best because I don't see anyone right now
Can I
that
have your
can
attention, please, everybody?
compete with Shadow.
Let you interrupt your meal.
I don't know. I can't say it. You say it. Huh?
Vernon, proprietor of
When I see you again, I tell you if I believe you or not.
Make a presentation to
Your music, there is so much love in it that you can feel something definitely inside. If you're not thinking of something, you will be thinking after you listen to your music. Even though the beat, the music, and the music, the arrangement. Who does do most of your arranging?
Well, I work with a lot of arrangers. I work with Art Decoto, and then I work with people like Frankie McIntosh. Recently, I've been working with a guy named Melvin Thomas from Sandy Grande in Trinidad, and then I work with Beaver Henderson. But I have a great input in the arrangement. Into my rhythm and thing, I deal with that at all times. The bass lines, the energy in the chords, strumming and thing. I deal with all the force, and then, the recent records like Dingole, and so I've been saying everything I want, I don't play them, but I get them played the way I want them. Like in Pack Pack, Poverty is here. We work with somebody who is understanding and respect enough to listen and agree this is it. And when they do not agree, I would say, what's your idea? Because they would have an idea. They would say, then I would ask them, where do you go from there? And they might say, that is it. Then I say, well, I use this because when I put this here, I'm going to put this here. So let's put this here and put that there. And you put down that and see which one's sweeter. And most times they agree with me. So in the studios like Beaver Henderson, every time we complete a song, say, Shadow, you're crazy, you're mad, the way I will get around this thing. Because he could only see where I'm going now. But I'm already seeing where I'm going to, right? So I'm further on, right? So you got to wait and see where I'm going. Most of my thing, I work on it from like creation, like from scratch. Just with my guitar, try to create a song. And while I'm going, I would feel certain energies. I would know where to put what. I won't concentrate on that very much. I make that become a part of my feelings. Just feel free. So when I get in the studio, I let that freedom come out. And that is it.
How does Shadow know Shadow has a hit? How before you even put it out, well, you say I just did this, okay, I just did Dingole, and it just came out. We just did the mix down, and boy, this is a hit. I know this is a hit.
Yeah, because it sounds good and it feels good. Sounds good enough to be a hit and feeling good enough to be a hit. When I listen and I feel, that's a hit.
Beautiful. And believe me, you have many hits and many, many hits coming and many hits in the past. To me, every song that I ever heard from you, I could never say I heard a Shadow song that I didn't like.
I'm lucky, maybe lucky, yeah?
Lucky. Lucky.
A lot of people say what you say, so
Obia
sometimes it ain't no obia, man.
No, Obia.
It's like hard work, I stay with it all the time, and I love it. I think there's a lot of love for what I'm doing, so I stick with it and get deeper and deeper. Sometimes when I play and get into the feel and get into the mood, I tell myself, me is music. Do re me mean me.
Let me ask: is there any particular thing that you've had on your mind that you would say, I have to do this, as far as the music is concerned, be it collaboration or just something in the music? You say, well, the next record or the next album I do, I have to try this.
Well, I always have that. I always do the next album as this is the album that would get the push to send my music where it should go. I mean, internationally total. So every record I go to do, I try to do it that way. But it just ain't happening, man. Like it's not into the right hands. People out there who are responsible through certain things. That must go, that must remain. So I'm in the remainder.
Yes, I want to thank you for taking time out,
Yeah, man.
for being with us.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
I'm looking forward to seeing you. I know I'm going to see you all over because we following the CALYPSO.
Yeah.
Definitely following the CALYPSO.
Yeah, well, you'll be in Kaibana next week or something. Right. Well, that is the thing.
That's it.
And if anything happening, I'm supposed to be there.
That's my first caravan.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
My first.
You never see me nice up the people there?
Never.
Well, come see it, man. Come see it.
I'll be
Come see me make people happy.
sure.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
That makes me happy, making people happy.
I remember a couple of months ago in Toronto at the Toronto Convention Center, they had a tribute
Yeah.
to Shadow, right? The People's Choice.
Thank you, but I still have a problem. I still know people's choice. Everybody says Shadow is the people's choice. But my problem is how to reach to more people, because if I'm the people's choice, people is people. So I'm supposed to have more fans.
A lot of younger people
Yeah.
are listening to your music.
Yeah, the young people stay with my music. The middle age, the old people love the music. It's something special. Yeah.
Once again, one love.
Yeah, man. One love, stay up.